Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am very excited to have a conversation with the incredible band Lawrence. Thank you both so much for being on my show. I'm so excited to be talking with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
of course, yeah. And so let's get started. So I love all of your music. Where do you find inspiration for your songs?
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I said this
Yeah.
a second ago, but I love your interview. Um,
Thank you.
we find inspiration from a lot of different artists from a lot of different eras, but I'd say mostly like 60s, 70s music is like a big area that we draw inspiration from. We listen to a lot of Motown, a lot of Stevie Wonder, a lot of some singer-songwriters like Carole King and Randy Newman. And then a lot of like classic rock artists also. Obviously the Beatles are our favorite ever. I don't know, Clyde, who am I missing?
I think you said a lot of them. I mean, I think that for us, Gracie and I were playing. We got inspired not only by artists that we love, but also like the friends that we were playing music with from an early age. Like, we've always loved big horn bands like Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago and stuff like that. And then one of our earliest friends was this guy Jordan, who was a saxophone player. So I think that that was part of what inspired us to write a lot of music that was very horns oriented.
And then he
But yeah,
became
you
a member
covered
of
it.
our band. Yeah.
Right, right. Forgot to mention that he's still a member of our band today.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Yeah. Is there a song of yours that is your favorite?
It's a great
Good
question.
question.
Thank you.
Um,
Um,
I don't
I
think I
think
have
that
a favorite. I
yeah,
would say I'll pick
it's
something from Family Business though that I think the way we're doing the song Death of Me live is really cool. I'm really enjoying performing that song right now.
yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite song because it's almost like picking like a favorite child or something. Like these are all like
Yeah.
things that feel very like core
Yeah.
to us in different ways. It's been really fun playing similar to Grace's thing. It's been really fun playing our song "Promotion" off our new album. That's a
Mm.
very different kind of song than any other song we've ever made, and it's a really fun one to have in our repertoire.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've had your album Family Business on repeat since it came out. So
Oh my God,
Oh,
thank
thank you so much.
you.
yeah. I'm obsessed with it. My whole family is a fan. We're all fans of yours. So
You so much.
Oh,
That's
thank
cool.
you.
We like
yeah.
hearing families that like overall the whole family likes the music.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there a song that you are currently obsessed with?
Mm,
I have one. There's a
go
band
for it.
called Fizz, which is like a super group of a bunch of different artists. Um, and they have a song called The Secret to Life. I like that I that's my like walking down the street in New York song right now. It's like I can't I would dance it out, but
Yeah.
it's of no use. You have to go listen to it.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I will say we just went and saw PJ Morton, who's one of our favorite
Mm.
artists, and he's perennially on repeat for me. But his new album that just came out has a song called "I Found You" that I've been listening to a ton.
It's a
Oh,
good song.
cool. I love that. I'm writing those songs down right now because I haven't heard them and I want
Yeah.
to listen to them now.
Yeah, they're kind of a little, I would say they're like both a little you'll see, I guess, why how we like them and how they relate in some ways to some Lawrence music or where those are also
Yeah.
inspired or inspirations. Yeah, for
Yeah.
us.
Oh, cool. I love that. Um, so is there an artist or song that you consider to be the gold standard when it comes to songwriting and storytelling?
I would say Randy Newman is my favorite songwriter from a storytelling standpoint, but there's a lot of great ones. I also think Adam Schlesinger from the band Fountains of Wayne, who's sadly no longer with us, but those are two of my favorite songwriters from a storytelling standpoint.
I mean, I think my favorite song of all time is like You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. I think that's just like a perfectly written song. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's so many. There's a really amazing artist named Nellie Mackay. I think it's pronounced Mackay, or I've just been saying it wrong my whole life. She has some of the most amazing lyrics and funniest lyrics. Yeah.
Oh, oh, I love that. Yeah, I love writing lyrics, and I've always I don't know, I've always like Taylor Swift and Ben Platt and Macy Peters are like those
Yeah.
artists for me.
Yeah, those are all amazing lyricists and
Yeah.
songwriters. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally
I
agree.
yeah, my family and I saw Ben Platt when he was in Denver.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and yeah, I that has like been my dream to see him live for the longest time. So I was just sobbing the entire time.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, he's incredible. So talented.
Yeah.
Clyde, I don't know if you know this, but he did a cool thing where he did like a residency in New York at a Broadway theater. And it was kind of, if I'm getting that right,
Yeah.
it's a cool
Oh, I
thing.
think didn't our friend Tori
Yeah.
Kelly participate in that?
Yeah, a lot
Am
of
I
people
making that up?
sat
That's how I
in,
heard
like
about that.
Megan Trainor
Yeah.
sat in. It was really cool. It
Yeah.
was a very, I wish we were home to see it, but we were on
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah. That he I know he at the residency he performed a Liza Minnelli cover
Oh,
every night,
well,
and he did that on tour too,
it's
which
great.
was just
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I'm that we're big theater fans, so that right up our alley. I think you're muted for me, or you just became muted just for 1 second.
oh, can you
Oh no,
hear
you're good.
me
You're good now. Yeah.
now? Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Sorry. I don't know what I have this microphone that I'm still working out. So it's
All good.
No problem.
so sorry about that.
No, it cut out for like less than 5 seconds, so you're good.
Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah, so how has social media, and TikTok in particular affected your songs? Are there any challenges to releasing music on social media?
Great
Great
question.
question.
I,
You.
You want to go for a Clyde, or I can?
yeah, I mean, I feel like we try to probably not let like social media drive our process in terms of actually writing or creating the songs. Like we're just trying to write and record the songs in the way that we will just enjoy them the most and that we hope that people will enjoy them the most. But then, of course, once you've completed the song, you then start to think about, okay, since a lot of people are going to learn about these songs from social media or
Mhm.
from whatever it might be, how do we take this song that wasn't created with social media in mind and create content around it that might really engage people on social media. And Gracie does a really great job with that. But then also, we make our acoustic videos or other kinds of live videos, and then we can use clips of those on social media. So we try to just do things that are really authentic to us, starting with the songs being just really authentic to us. And then we hope that if we show those things on social media, people will respond to it.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's so interesting. Um, So, what has been the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
That's
It's a
a
great
really good
question.
question too. You'd be like, good. Um, I think that we haven't, I don't want to like, you know, put ourselves in a position where we're saying like that we've had such incredible hardships in our career. We've been really, really fortunate that from the beginning it's been um, you know, I think largely because it's been within our control and because we've chosen to do this independent route thus far, that a lot of the um a lot of the challenges are the same things as the, a lot of the negatives are the same things as the positives. Like a lot of the things that people would say, oh, that's a roadblock, are also ways to get creative. So, I don't want to pretend that we've gone through some really negative ordeal of being like in the band, at least, of being dropped by this or having, there's those stories. And I think because we've largely chosen this path that's, so DIY and insular, sometimes the growth is slower, but it's also doesn't have as many peaks and valleys. It's been steady. Um, but I think, like for in our personal lives, I think whether it's, deaths in our family or relationships that end or, things that everyone goes through, I think that those are topics we actually really like. We like to write about. Obviously, we don't like that they happen, but we
Yeah.
like about is as a means of processing them.
Yeah.
And I think that because we're a family band, um, there's something really fortunate about the fact that we get to, like Clyde and I as siblings, get to write about those things together as a sort of means of grieving or getting through challenging times together.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
I also think that like in some ways we consider this one of the greatest like privileges and joys that we have, but I do think that there are times when like me and Gracie being siblings, or the fact that like our band is made up of some of our best friends, that can be an obstacle sometimes, in addition to it being a massive advantage and point of joy and pride. Because if I'm in a bad mood, then Gracie is not only seeing that I'm in a bad mood as my, colleague in the band, she's seeing it as my sister, and vice versa. And, if something's going on in one of our personal lives, it's like not only affecting our career, but it's like, you know, these are people, our best friends and our family. And so that
There's
is
no
a,
separation of church and state.
yeah, for anybody that's tried to start a band with their friends or family, they can tell you that can be an obstacle in and of itself, trying to make it a sustainable thing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. So I am pop culture obsessed and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
I just
I
started
don't
rewatching the show Veep. Um,
Oh,
just
have.
because the current political situation just made me
yeah.
feel like I needed to rewatch that show. Um, but that's such a great show. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is so
Yeah.
brilliant. But we're huge TV junkies, just like you.
Yeah.
I in the bus have I realized that some of the guys in the band hadn't seen Sex in the City. Specifically, I'll give a shout out to Nick Proctor, who does our video wall design. And I have been talking about how it's such a great show. So we binged a lot of Sex in the City, but I've seen it like not a million times. We're gonna continue it on the fall tour.
Yeah. Oh, I love
What
that.
are your what are some of your shows that you're binging?
Oh, I'm I just watched season 2 of the show Unstable.
Oh, I heard about
Which
that.
Oh,
is
cool.
so good. It's so funny. Um, and
Have to check
then
that out.
yeah, it's so good. And then there's a new show also on Netflix called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I'm
Mm.
watching.
That's a
Uh,
great title. Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So I love that show. And then I um am obsessed with the shows White Collar and Royal Pains, which they've both been off
Mm.
there for a while, but they're two of my all-time favorite shows, and they came back on Netflix at the beginning of uh this year.
I
So
love
I
when that happens.
yeah, me too. So I've just that's been on. I'm rewatching with my family. We're all rewatching um Royal Pains, and then I am just like White Collar I have on like 24/7. So
I gotta watch. I don't think Clyde or I have
But
watched either of those.
yeah, I've watched so many
yeah.
shows, but I haven't seen those two shows. I'll have to check
We'll have
them out.
to,
I'm
Oh,
yeah,
also
get into
wearing
it.
a
so good.
Seinfeld shirt right now.
Oh, I love
So
that. Yeah, I started watching Seinfeld. I haven't finished it, but I'll have
I
to
feel like
go
it's a
back
show you
in.
can like go in and out of. Like you
Yeah.
don't really need to like
Yeah.
it's ephemeral in a great way. Oh
Yeah.
wait, opposite of ephemeral? I forgot what ephemeral means. Is it the other one? I don't know.
it's
Um,
evergreen.
evergreen,
It's
thank
not
you.
ephemeral.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah, I love your shirt. Um, so
Like
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, if you watch either of those shows, you'll have to let me know what you think.
Yeah,
definitely.
we'll hit you back up and
Yeah.
let you know.
Um yeah, so who has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
We've been lucky to have like a bunch of sort of mentors, I guess we could say. I mean, a lot of them have been like basically the producing team of our albums is Clyde and I, and then Johnny and Jordan in our band are like main producers. And then for each of our albums, we've had kind of fifth producer come in and kind of help oversee the whole process and be like a new voice in the room. And for our first album, for our album Breakfast, this amazing artist named Eric Krasno, who's sort of like a staple of the at the time New York music scene, and now he's LA and everywhere. And but yeah, he's just such a legendary musician, and his sort of guidance in especially that beginning moment of our career was so helpful. Um, and then our second album was produced by this amazing producer named Eli Cruz, who had his own sort of really experimental, cool like techniques and vision, and that was really fun to have him in the mix. And then our third album and our fourth album, the past two albums, Hotel TV and Family Business, have been produced by John Bellion, who's a close collaborator and friend and like genius producer, songwriter. So I feel like we've been really lucky to have these, artists come into our kind of safe space and like be part of the family and contribute in this way that's really intimate and cool, and we really get to know them through that process. And I think each of them has left us with a lot of nuggets of wisdom to kind of proceed. Even if we're not with them every day in the studio, it's like, oh, we can kind of channel, oh, this is what Bellion would think of this, or oh, this is what Kraz would think of this. And that's a really helpful perspective to have.
Wow. I love that. Yeah. Um Who has had the biggest impact on you as a person?
Hmm.
Mm, good question. I mean,
Share.
I think yeah,
Yeah,
Randy Newman. No, I
honestly.
think that I would have to say, I think I'd have to say our family. I mean,
Yeah.
um, not only Gracie and I think I would answer Gracie's one of the people that's had the biggest impact on me, but for better and for worse. But certainly our parents, and our brother Linus, um, those are just they are really our closest friends, and um, we're so lucky to like be able to talk to them about anything and everything and hear about things going on in their lives. So, and our grandparents, and then I'd also say the people in the band, they all have really, some of them have been some of our closest friends since really early in life. And it's cool to like, a theme of, I guess, my answer is that a lot of the people that we connect with professionally and personally, those things really overlap when you're in a band full of family and
Yeah.
friends.
Oh, I
Perfect.
love that. Yeah, I love that. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Spicy. Um,
That's a
that's
great one.
wild. Um,
Dangerously funky.
yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah,
Dangerously funky is a good label for the band.
yeah,
No
Um,
expiration date.
yep, that's good. These are
yeah.
all good. These are better than anything I would come up with. Yeah,
Yeah, I like those.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
I would say like this is gonna sound like such a silly answer, but like I sing a lot in my daily life that like not in a professional way, but like just at home or around the house. Clyde from growing up with me knows this to be true. Um,
Definitely true. I can
I like
attest.
don't know. One of my biggest fears when I went to college for like a day was like the fact that I wasn't going to be able to find a space where I could sing at maximum volume.
Mm.
Um, and it's a huge deal for me mentally to and physically, just like the feeling of belting and singing loud, and it's like a huge um stress reliever for me and just like something really joyful and kind of just like an escape. It's a real escapist thing I do quite a lot. Um so I'd say that, and the fact that I've kind of gotten the opportunity to take all those years of just like singing in my room and make that into a career is like really really cool. But at the same time, I still, even when I'm singing professionally all the time, I like still crave that like singing in my room feeling. So sometimes I just need to find space to go sing something alone.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
I'd say for me,
it.
I have different ones. I'd say definitely watching TV. Sounds like you're in a similar boat
Yeah,
on that one. For me,
yeah.
like that really relaxes me. And I would say a good puzzle or a game really makes me very happy. Those are like two of my favorite
Yeah.
activities.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, yeah, do you guys have like a go-to comfort show or movie when you just want to like turn off your brain and escape?
My favorite movie of all time, maybe is Clyde's favorite movie of all time. My Cousin Vinny is like my favorite movie.
I love that
That and
movie.
Little Miss Sunshine. Those are like my two favorite
Yeah.
movies.
Oh, I
Maybe
love
Beauty and
those
the Beast,
movies.
though. Those are like, yeah, my favorites.
Those are
Yeah.
great. Yeah, I would throw Finding Nemo in the mix as well as
Oh, great call.
like
Yeah.
a third
Very eclectic.
third
Like Juno
point
and
on the
Finding
triangle.
Nemo. Like there's what's the
Yeah.
overlap there? I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's
I think
Great.
I'm sure we could
Yeah.
think of it.
Totally.
Uh, yeah, I would say for me, I mean Seinfeld, it's on the shirt, but that's definitely one for me. The Office is always just so good. I mean, I think that's everyone's answer, but like that's for a reason. The Office, and one I'll say that's a little less known, BoJack Horseman is maybe my favorite TV show of all time, and depending on the episode, it can be actually kind of heavy, but it is so fun and great and brilliant, and I recommend it to anyone.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have so many that I just like rotate between
Yeah,
always. So right now it's a lot of White Collar and Royal Pains. And then another and then like some of my go-to movies are like Shazam and Home Again. Um and The Prom. So yeah.
Yeah.
very
Uh,
cool.
I
Yeah,
love also I'm there with you.
sorry, what
The
did you
Prom
say?
is like the
Oh,
musical, the Prom, right?
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a musical junkie, so
Yeah.
I appreciate that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, all those movies I'm just obsessed with. And The Prom, the music is always on repeat for me. So
Yeah, so fun.
yeah. Um so what are people surprised to learn about you?
I would
Hmm.
say a thing I can answer for that is I think that people sometimes are surprised that Gracie, you're not quite as extroverted as you seem like you might be sometimes like on stage. And I think that
Yeah.
sometimes people are surprised that I can sometimes be very extroverted. I feel like people would assume based on me and Gracie's on stage personas that Gracie's like a super social butterfly and I'm a little bit more, I don't know, like in my own
So,
universe or whatever.
cerebral
Yeah.
genius.
Or
Yeah.
just like less likely to be like bouncing around,
Yeah.
whatever. Um, and I think that we both have both of those sides of us, I would say, but I would say more often than not, like I'm a person that's down to like socialize with a big group or whatever, and you're like often like recharge with alone time.
I need I require a lot of alone time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely relate. I love like I can like go out and socialize and I like that, and then I like being home and being by myself and just like watching one of my comfort shows.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
preaching to the choir. That's
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. um so what motivates you to create even on the days you aren't really feeling it?
Hmm. I think that well, I think there's the reality of like there's two of us. So that's really nice because I think that we kind of fill in the gaps of what the other one's missing that day. Like if I'm feeling kind of out of ideas or Clyde, we tend to pick up on that from each other, and like it's just instinct when one person's feeling one way to kind of like the other person compensates. So I think that there's the benefit of having two people and probably siblings who are so well acquainted with each other's habits and personality to be able to pick up on that. But I
There's
think
also
also, no, go for it.
no. I was gonna say there's also like a lot of different kinds of being creative. Like not
Hmm.
only are there the two of us, but there's like, today, right now on my computer, I'm spending the day like editing audio, which is like creative, but it's very different than writing a song. And then another
Yeah.
day we might have a call about thinking about what the lights should look like during the show. So like
Yeah.
the nice thing is that when you kind of have a business like ours where we're not just writing the songs, we're doing all these different things, you kind of have the opportunity to do a lot of different creative things. Now, you don't always get to decide which one you're going to do that day. You might be in the mood to write a song, but you have some other thing you have to do, or you might not be in the mood to write a song, but you need to finish the song. But ideally, you can make it work that you get to kind of wake up and think about, okay, what type of creative do I want to be today, and tailor it to that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So I just have one more question for you guys. Um, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes, and this week my favorite quotation is by John Green, and it says, "The world may be broken, but hope is not crazy." Is there a
Mm.
quotation that has inspired you lately?
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah. I think I've said this maybe when anyone's ever asked me for advice ever, which I don't know why anyone would ever ask me for advice, but I have said sort of the same thing, and I think it's remained true, and as I get older it remains so true, which is that I think it's just like nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
um I think that that's like essentially the quote. Clyde, who said that? It was a famous screenwriter,
It
right?
was
It was Bill
William
Goldman.
Goldman.
Yeah.
William Goldman. Yeah.
Um who wrote Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and um yeah, just like I think that I take that to mean um as it pertains to career, as it pertains to personal life, like I think we all have idols or people we look up to and think, oh, like if I just follow that path or if I just do this thing, um, then I will be successful personally, professionally, whatever. And I think the reality is when you're living your own life, you come to many crossroads and many questions that are so particular to you and your circumstances, and and no one else can really have the answer to them except for you. And obviously you can rely on other people for support and get their opinion, but I think that there's an essential like self-love that has to take place in life in order to have the confidence to know that just because someone who you really admire or someone that came before you did it one way doesn't mean that that's the way you have to do it. And I find that to be very valuable as we kind of figure out how our career goes and how our personal lives go. Um, I find myself referring back to that idea.
Yeah.
Mine would be our mom, a quote from our mom, which is our
Mm,
mom always like says that everyone's a package. And that really always has stuck with me, and I think about it a lot. And what that means is that it's not just as simple as like, oh, everyone has their good qualities and their bad qualities. Because I think a lot of people know that. But I think when you think about it as a package, it's like understanding that everyone's qualities are kind of intrinsically related to their other qualities. And so if there's something about someone that bothers you, or you don't like something that they said, or whatever that might be, like giving the benefit of the doubt that perhaps that part of them is like intrinsically connected, or the other side of a coin of some other quality that they bring, that is like something you love, and that you can't cherry pick those things. Sometimes you can't say, oh, I wish they were like this but not like this. And not to say that people can't evolve or that feedback isn't important, but I think giving people the benefit of the doubt with that idea that their qualities are so interwoven with each other is something that I really take with me.
Oh, I love those. Yeah, I love those. Um, well, that was my final question for you. I have just had the best time talking with you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Those
Thank
were
you.
great questions. Questions we don't get asked a
You.
lot, so that's really cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's always my goal, so thank you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, and I can't wait to, keep following you guys and hearing all your music. So I
Thank
um
you.
yeah,
Thank you
I
so much.
so thank you so much for taking the time to join me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too. And we'll be in
You
touch about
too.
the TV shows.
Yes. I would love to hear what you think.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.